Welcome to Jersey Line. I'm Pat O'Melia. It is illegal to bet football in New Jersey, and I'm going to help you. Bet with your head, bet with me. It's the last week of the NFL season, week 17. Last week I went 7-8-1. As you get into the end, people are resting players. It gets really difficult. So bet wisely. Let's see what we got for the last week. Got a lot of teams out of it. A lot of teams out, of course. And a lot of teams have nothing to play for. So they're going to rest players. For that matter, we had to wait a while to get the line on a couple of games. Giants at home versus Dallas. Dallas had nothing to play for. I'm going to take the Giants -6. Giants are actually favored over Dallas. Shows you. KC versus Oakland. KC's home. Again, depending on how things fall, KC has nothing to play for. I'm going to take Oakland, getting 13.5 points. New Orleans, home versus Carolina. New Orleans already clinched everything. But you got the backup quarterback there who's going to try to make a name for himself and get a free agent contract this year. He was with the Jets. His name is blanking on me right now. He was with the Minnesota for quite a few years. He had a terrible knee injury. He's back. The Jets traded him, and they got a third rounder. Pretty good trade for the Jets. It'll pop into my brain, hopefully, while I'm taping this. New Orleans, the Shady Bradys are home versus the New York Jetsies. Again, Shady Bradys, I don't think they have anything to play for. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm getting 13.5 points. Philadelphia at Washington. I don't think Philly has anything to play for. Neither does Washington, but Nick Foles wants a free agent contract next year. He's up. He's going to be a free agent next year. He'd like to get a 2 or 3 year deal, and I think he's worth that. Does he come to the Giants? Yeah, I think we still stick with Eli. I'm taking Philadelphia -6.5 points versus Washington. Green Bay home versus Detroit, another team. Both of these teams have nothing to play for. But Aaron Rodgers is a warrior. And this is, Detroit, Green Bay, long-time rivalry. I'm going to go with the Green Bay -7.5. Houston, they got something they got to play for. They still got some seeding issues. They're playing their home versus Jacksonville, a team that fell off the edge. I don't know if Doug Marrone's going to get fired. He might. Tom Coughlin is the vice president. Does he go back on the field to coach? They got some changes they need in Jacksonville. They got a lot of talent. They just need some changes. I'm going to take Houston -7. The Baltimore Ravens, home versus Cleveland. Somebody's got to stop the kid, quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And I think it's going to be Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland 6 points. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield, Barkley with the Giants, rookie of the year. I think you got to give it to Baker Mayfield. Atlanta at home versus Tampa. Tampa's lost. I don't know where they are. They got a lot of talent. They got to reorganize themselves. I'm going to take Atlanta home -1 point. That's probably my lock of the week. Buffalo, home versus Miami. It's going to be cold, and the weather's going to be bad this summer. Neither team's playing for anything. But you got a young quarterback in Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo -3.5 points versus the Dolphins. Indianapolis. This team's going to be in the playoffs, and nobody wants to face Indianapolis. Andrew Luck is probably MVP and comeback player of the year. Versus Tennessee. Kind of an average team that should be better Tennessee, but I'm going to take Indy, and we're only giving 2.5 points. Pittsburgh at home versus Cincinnati. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh's got nothing. Nothing to play for. Cincinnati never has anything to play for. But I'm going to take Cincinnati with a big line, 14.5 points. Minnesota at home versus Chicago. Chicago, nothing to play for. I doubt if you see Trubisky. I doubt if you see Mack. Minnesota's still on the edge. They got something to play for. I'm going to take Minnesota -5, and Minnesota's home. Seattle versus Arizona. This game we had to wait a while to get a line on. It was off. Seattle versus Arizona. Seattle, by the time this game goes off, may not have anything to play for. Another team you don't want to see in the playoffs is Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to take Arizona. Big line again, 13.5 points. Chargers at Denver. Chargers minus 6.5. Denver's eliminated, and they just got spanked last weekend. I'm going to take the Chargers. The Chargers have to learn how to finish off a game. And this is their opportunity because they're going to be in the playoffs. They got to learn how to close a game. Chargers minus 6.5. Last game, no Monday night games. This is it, just Sunday. Rams home versus San Francisco. Rams have nothing to play for. You're going to see a lot of their starters sitting. I'm going to take San Francisco plus 10. This is it. Last week of the NFL season. All we got left of the playoffs. Bet smart. Bet with me. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.